All right, so we just finished adding some fields to our new edit potential deal screen. And this is so that as a social media influencer, I can go ahead and I can track my brands that I'm potentially going to be dealing with, the contacts at those brands. And as you can see, there's no visible columns here, which we'll configure soon, but this is where the contact would go, the name of the deal, the source, the description of the deal, type, stage, and amount. So still, very, very much in its early stages of development, but we're getting there. And, an app, it takes time, but through iterations and refinements, we'll get it to where we want. So the next refinement that we want to do to this now is you'll notice when I open up the stage dropdown, there's a bunch of these stages here. Now, stage is very important to me because I want to have stages that make sense to me and are meaningful to my business. None of these stages are really that meaningful, and there's quite a lot here. So I want to simplify this. So how can I go ahead and manage these stage values without having to do a data import in the backend? I just want to be able to, as a user that's using this screen, be able to, whenever I feel like it, update these values to something more meaningful in the future, edit them, remove them, retire them. I wouldn't even say remove them. I would say just, archive them. We don't want to delete anything. But how can I manage basically these values from the front end without having to do some sort of back end stuff? Let me show you. So because we want to build a screen for this stage field, we want to first find out what this field name is. So let's go in here and let's click the customize screen option to get into screen designer. Let's highlight opportunity stage. And you'll see right on the right, the base table of this field is called opportunity stage. So that is the table that we're going to be using to build the screen. And in method, in order for you to build a screen, it must be based off of a table. Has to, it's a requirement. And for this case, because we want to manage the fields, the values in this field, we want to build a screen off of this table, opportunity stage. So let's go ahead and let's close this. And I'm going to go and click this down chevron arrow again and click manage app. This is going to take us to our screens manager for our potential deals app. And we're going to click create screen. Now from here, I'm going to choose the base table to be that field that I just mentioned. So let's go up and say opportunity stage. And I'm going to name this screen new/edit stage. Create. All right, now we're in our screen designer. And as you know, in part one of this YouTube series, we went over the structure of building a screen for entering details. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay, we're going to add our sections, but we're going to add a back button and we're going to add a title. These are all common things that you're going to have to do across all your screens, and you want to make it as consistent as possible because consistency is key in order for you to increase user adoption and for it to be clear to you and for anyone else who's planning to use your app. So let's go ahead. Let's build a back button. Down, click. And because I already showed this in part one, you can feel free to fast forward this piece, but I'll show it again here. Like go back. All right. Show icon, do a chevron, icon here, chevron. Okay. And then I'm going to add a text label and I'm going to do new edit stage. I'm going to change the font type to title. And then I'm going to just change the cell alignment to the far left here. And I'm going to add a top padding of 1. And let's go ahead and rename the section to section header, section main. And let me go ahead and add another section here and say section footer. Okay. Now for this piece, what I want to do is just save my changes. I'm going to duplicate my screen. Okay. And I'm going to click close so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So in order for me to see the front end of the screen, I need to add something called a custom row click because the way we're going to be accessing the screen is a little bit different. We're going to be accessing the screen through a field. So what we want to do is we want to go and customize our new edit potential deal screen that we were just on. And for that stage field that we highlighted at the beginning of this video, this is where we're going to add that link for us to navigate to our new edit stage screen that we just created. So right here, the option to do that is called custom row click. So we're going to click that, and then we're going to say go to screen, and then we're going to go to our potential deals app, and then we're going to click new edit stage. And then for this piece, we're actually going to not set the active record ID. We're just going to clear the screen. Reason being is because we're not going to a specific stage value. No, we don't want to update just one value. We want to see all the stages and be able to update all of them within one screen. So we're going to click clear screen. Okay, and then I'm just going to add comment here, go to new edit stage. All right, now the last thing we're going to do here is very important. You'll notice there's this custom row text area here. Now this is usually empty, okay? So you would have to actually add new edit stage here. If you don't add anything in this custom row text, you're not going to see a link. You need to add this if you want to be able to access that new screen that you just created, okay? Let's click save. Let's click close. Now let's go back to our potential deals screen. If we open up the stage, there we are. The very first option on the far right, you'll see that link that we just created, new edit stage. So if we click that, and it takes us to our new edit stage screen that we are building. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and we can continue to modify the design of the screen and see it reflected right away in the separate tab right here. So let's go back now into our first tab, and let's go and continue designing. All right, let's go and add a bottom border to this. So I'm highlighting the whole section here. I'm going to add padding around all of my sections. I like to do that because it leaves space across all sections of the screen, and it just makes it look more cleaner and consistent. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead now and just add a bottom border. My size is going to be 1 pixel, bottom border color, navigation, style, solid, hit save. Okay. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to add an editable grid. Okay, not a standard grid. So you'll see a standard grid here. No, we want to do an editable grid. The editable grid is going to be much easier for this use case because we're going to be able to edit and update the stage values all at once within one screen, not having to navigate away from it. And that's just a much better experience. Okay. All right. So the editable grid now we dragged it to the stage designer, we need to still modify its properties. So let's go ahead and we can either go and click this down chevron and click grid builder here, or click grid builder on the right. I'm going to go and click grid builder on the right. You'll see it is set to the appropriate base table. Now I could change this, but I don't want to. I want it to stay on stage. Okay. And for here, what I want to do is I want to remove show go to page input field. We don't need that for this because we're not going to have multiple pages most likely. And let's go ahead and say add, instead of add lines, add stage. And let's change the number of new rows to add as 1. So that's just going to add, as you want to add new stages, you're just going to click that button. It's going to add 1 row at a time, which I think is more than enough. We don't want to delete the stages. So for this styling option here, we're actually going to uncheck show delete row column. We don't want that. We're going to hide the view selector because we're not going to have multiple views, and everything else pretty straightforward. I don't think we need any of this. So let's go ahead now. Let's go to columns. Now for columns, this is what's going to show within the editable grid to you. The record ID, it was, a unique identifier. We don't need to see it, and it's not going to show by default. So let's just continue on, and let's add our other column. Opportunity stage we need. Is not active is another one we need. I would say stage order is another one we need, and stage probability percent. Okay, those are the 4 that I'm going to add. So I'm going to go into each one of these columns, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the caption. So instead of saying opportunity stage, we're just going to say stage. Is not active. I mean, not the clearest. It is a standard field, but wasn't my choice to name it that, but I'll just leave it as such. is not active. Stage order, let's just put a space there. Stage probability percent, we can just say probability. And then maybe what we can do is just add percentage sign here. Okay. And then for views, because we're not showing any views, there's really nothing you need to do here. I just like to change the name instead of view one default. I don't know why, my OCD, but I just like to do that. Okay, visible columns, record ID. Oh, so it does show. Okay, so let's just disable that by default. We don't need that. And the order stage, let's say stage order goes first, then the stage, and then we'll say is not active, probability, then is not active. I like that order. Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna click, I think we're done. So let's go ahead and click close on this editable grid. We've now configured the editable grid, all right? Now let's go and let's refresh the screen on the other tab. There we are. So we got our stage order column, which is empty right now. We still haven't set it. We got our stage, we got our probability, and we got our is not active checkbox. That is confusing. Wow. Anyways, let's continue now. And I don't really want to use any of these stages. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, actually, before we do that, one last piece that I actually forgot. So let's go back into our designer. Before I can even make any changes, I need to add a button. I can't just edit directly into the grid and then expect Method to know that this should be automatically changed. You need to be able to tell Method that you're committing these changes to the system, and that's how it's going to know. So how do we do that? Let's add a save button. Let's go into our section footer that we have. Let's first add a top border to make it nice and clean and consistent and crisp. Let's go here and let's go into our button. Let's save and back. Just to let you guys know, I am very goofy. Well, not very goofy. I'm a little bit goofy. I like to be goofy. I like to keep things light, you know? I don't like to be serious all the time. Life is too short. You're going to know this as you watch more of my videos, okay? My personality is just going to start coming out, and hopefully you're going to like it. If not, what can I do? You know? That's no big deal. All right. So, anyways, we're going to go now into this button. Let's go click. So I called it save and back, okay? Reason why is because when we save it, we're not going to sit there and just stare at the screen. We're probably going to want to go back. So just as a convenience, I'm going to say save and back. So let's add our save, all action, perfect. And let's do, let me go to screen. Let me say go back. Simple as that. So now I have a save and back button. I'm going to change the background color to a blue, which is called primary in the system. All right. And let's recaption this grid to stages. And let's see if I'm missing anything else. Oh, we added a back, but we added our action here, didn't we? Yes, we did. Okay. I think we're good. All right, now we can go and make our changes now that we've added a save button. So let's go back to our other tab. Let's refresh. There we have it. We have our new edit stage. So what I want to do is I want to take you back to our potential deal screen, and let's access the screen from there and show you how you can manage now your drop-down values from the front end. Let's go. So let me actually just close this. Let's go back to our potential deals app. Let's click new potential deal. There's our stage drop down. Oh, look, there's our new and edit stage link. And now here's our screen, just like that. Click add stage, boom, 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 boom. I can go crazy with this stuff. Look, add all of these. We don't really need this. That was a little excessive. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so I'm going to say for these ones, we don't want a stage order, nor do we want to even keep these. So is not active. Yes, they are not active. So let's check off all of these. We don't want any of these, okay? I want to add my own stages. This is my app, okay? My appy, my stagey, okay? Let's go ahead And let's add these stages. Initial outreach. I like that. Okay. For initial outreach, let's put that at 0%. The reason why I call initial outreach is because this is me reaching out to the brand that I want to work with. I don't know if they're going to want to work with me, but I reached out and I want to track that. Okay, next one, in discussion. Yes, I got a reply from them. They decided to reach back to me. Now we've effectively entered the next stage, which is in discussion, and I'm going to put that at 15% probability. Now, the reason why we're using probabilities here, it's going to actually play with our amounts for our potential deals. I'm going to add logic so that when we actually forecast an amount for this deal, or not forecast, but when we add our services that they're inquiring about or we're working with them, it's going to give us the sum of my services that I'm offering as an amount, and I'll be able to go ahead and take this probability, which is a percentage of that amount, to show how much of the dollar value in this potential deal has already been realized and is in the pipeline right now. Okay, this is going to be neat because it's going to help us understand which ones are about to close. The higher the dollar amounts, or the higher the probability, the more likely to close, and maybe I should be focusing on those a little bit harder just to close them out, right? Okay, so let's continue on here. Negotiation. So this is where things are starting to get a little serious. They're starting to get a little spicy. So the client is interested. I'm interested. We're talking now. We're in cahoots, and they're saying what they're really asking some good questions, and I'm answering, and I'm also asking some good questions, and hopefully this works out into a fruitful relationship. I'm all about fruitful relationships. And then the next one I'm going to put is closed one. So this means we got the deal. 100% probability. We've closed it. The amount has been fully realized on that potential deal. 100% of it's realized, so we're good. Next one, close loss. This one, not so good, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Things like this happen, and we need to put this anyways because this is reality. We were not always going to close every single deal. All right, so this is going to be my new stage pipeline. Right here, these are the stages. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to order these stages, and I'm simply going to add a number here. 1, 2, 3. This is the order. The order that I typed them out is the order I want to see these stages in. Okay, now let me hit now save and back. All right, now we're still not done yet. So we are actually perfect. Initial outreach and discussion, negotiation, close one, close lost. Great, but I still want to show something, because this actually wouldn't happen out the bat. The reason why it happened this time is because I had it pre-configured, and for demonstration purposes, I did not want to. But I must have forgot to remove this, and I will show you what I did here. So imagine this was empty, okay? So if I actually go back, you're likely going to land on something like this. Like, what the hell? I added my new stages, but I still see the old ones. What's going on? I went into my new edit screen. I told it I didn't want it, but it's still showing. Yep. It's because you still need to tell method what you want to do on this screen. Now you have the stage here. You've told it on the new edit stage screen what stages you want to keep and what stages you don't want to keep or you want to archive, right? Or no longer active. But it's not going to know how to apply that unless you tell it. You say, okay, I want to only show these ones. I only want to show these particular stages, the ones that are active, right? So in order for us to do that now, because we're on our potential deals list, let's go and customize to potential deal screen. Wow. Potential deal screen. I want to go ahead and I want to go into our stage field, and I'm going to click this views option. Okay, what this is going to do, it's going to allow us to filter that field for what we want. Okay, so first I'm going to add a criteria. I'm going to say is not active is equal to false. We only want to show active, right? And then our sort criteria, we want to go into stage order, and we want to do our stage order in ascending. So we want to see it in the order that you saw me put those new stages in. Let's hit close. And now we should see those stages show up. And here we are. Initial outreach, in discussion, negotiation, close one. The other ones are no longer there. Now I can always in the future go back and I can add another stage here, and I can call it Bob the Builder. All right. Probability 80%. And I can say this is also active. And let me hit save and back. Now that I've already set up that filter, I don't have to do it again. When I go back into the screen, okay. Oh, there's Bob the Builder. Oh yeah, is active, sorry. Hit that. And there's Bob the Builder right there, okay? So Bob the Builder is the very last option. This was just another example, but we don't actually want Bob the Builder. He's not an actual stage. So let's go ahead and remove Bob the Builder, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this to is not active, save him back. Bob the Builder is no longer there, and our actual stages are there. If you enjoyed this video today, please click like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. On the next video, we're going to continue building out our potential deals custom app on Method CRM, where we're going to add our services now as a separate editable grid to the potential deal screen and really beef up that functionality. Really looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Peace.